Good morning, chickadoes and chickadees. Today is Wednesday, November 18th, and this is your lesson video. So we're working with argumentation. In this unit 3, we're looking at being able to examine other people's writings, pieces, texts, speeches, transcripts, and taking a look at, who are they? What is their level of credibility, expertise in this particular field? Do they have any street cred to actually be talking about this, speaking about this, having an opinion on this? Looking at to whom are they speaking to? Who is their targeted audience? What are the little cliques, clusters of individuals that they're trying to appeal to, motivate, and capture, and get them on their side in a persuasive way? Being able to understand to whom you're speaking to and what you need to say to kind of pull those strings, press those buttons to have a reaction, to create a movement, to create a change of thought, of mind, of heart. And then examining what are those tactics, what are those rhetorical choices those writers are making or those speakers are making. Are they appealing to a person's emotion, or are they focusing on the right or wrong or something? Are they using their credibility to move and achieve their purpose? We should trust them because of their background, because of their level of expertise, because of who they are. Or are they presenting us with facts, information, statistics, studies, examples, anecdotes, personal or pop culture, historical reference? What cards are they playing in their speech, in their text, in order to achieve their purpose? This is what we call a rhetorical analysis. This is a small little taste of what AP does. So when we move into our argumentation rhetorical analysis essay, we're looking at an organized way of talking about someone else's piece, whether again it's a speech, it's an essay, it's an article, it's a advertisement that we see in print like in a magazine, or something that we see online like a video, a commercial on TV, or those YouTube videos. We have to take a look at, okay, who are they, what are they trying to do, to whom are they speaking, and what are they doing to get that done? And so, what we're going to be working on after Thanksgiving break is really polishing up our findings, our ideas into an organized rhetorical analysis essay of beginning, a middle, and end, an introduction with thesis, body paragraphs, and conclusion. So, a lot of it is the structure that we already know, knowing how to build an introduction with the thesis, a body paragraph, we're going to use the T structure, and then, of course, the conclusion, that closure to the audience, that tying together. So that's what we know, but it's now just like, okay, what is our focus? What do we need to focus on and do? So with the rhetorical analysis essay, like I've said, is we are writing about what someone else is doing in their piece. To who are they? What are they trying to achieve in their piece? To whom are they speaking to? And then, of course, what are those rhetorical choices that person is doing? Are they trying to evoke emotions from their audience? Are they focusing on the right or wrong or something, those ethical appeals? Are they using their street cred, their credibility, their background, their knowledge, expertise in the field to persuade us? Another ethical appeal. Or are they using facts, logical ideas, information, studies, percentages, statistics, anecdotes, as proof of their ideas in order to achieve their message? So that's what we're going to be looking at for a rhetorical analysis essay. And what I want to talk about today is the précis. A précis is 4 sentences that is a fill in the blank template that helps you gather all those ideas, all those little nuggets of information that we're going to need for that rhetorical analysis essay. So I love using the précis every single time when we have to do this, because it pretty much writes the essay for you, and it's 4 sentences and it's fill in the blank. So the notes that I'm going to be following or looking over today are here. This is the task that you have to open up, and you'll get this notes. So it's just saying that the précis frame, this template structure, fill in the blank, is for a rhetorical analysis essay, which is what we are focusing on right now for our Unit 3 argumentative unit. So in this box is just some reminders, just saying, okay, this is what sentence 1's doing, sentence 2 is doing, sentence 3, and sentence 4. So I'll come back to this and read this in just a little while. But this is the template. This is the fill in the blank that you are going to be using whenever we deal with a person's text, a transcript, an essay, an article, or when we're looking at a video or a commercial. And so all we're doing is just filling in the blanks, and then it generates our own. It's going to seem a little static. It's going to feel a little boring, and that's okay. This is not an essay. This is just a rough draft. Okay, this is brainstorming. This is listing your ideas. And then we take the little pieces from here and then build our essay. And I'll show you how to do that as we continue practicing the précis. All right, in sentence one, this is sentence one right here. And we have several items that we need to fill in the blank. One, author's credentials. It's like, who are they? What's some title that we can give them? Are they a writer? Are they a professor? Are they a scientist? Are they a chairman of or chairwoman of a particular organization or group? Are they a teacher? Are they a psychologist? Like, what authority do they have that they're using to help the audience get them to trust them to achieve their purpose? So credentials can be not so much anything you want, but anything that's applicable to that person to whom that wrote the piece in itself or gave the speech. And again, I'll give some examples in just a little bit. But author's credentials, who are they? What's their title? Like, again, psychologist, teacher, politician, former committee chair or head of the World Health Organization. Again, street cred, give them their title. The next fill in the blank is author's first and last name. We should have that. If we're looking at credibility, bias, authenticity, precision, accuracy, we should have a name to attribute the information to. If they don't have a full name, if you just have their first name or last initial, something's a little shady there. Like I talked about in yesterday's video, we need to know who they are. We need to be able to look them up on Google and follow them and know their business to figure out, can we trust them? Then we select the proper pronoun, his, her, or we can go with their, or we're going to be politically correct and acknowledge the diversity when it comes to pronouns that we want to be called by. Or if you just don't know, if you're just looking at their name and you're like, oh, I don't want to say it wrong, use the all-inclusive there. Type of text is another way of saying genre. Like, what is it? Is it an advertisement? Is it an essay? Is it an article? Is it a speech? TED Talk, to be a little bit more specific. It's just what type of text in their article, in their essay, in their letter argues that. And then the last item, that line included as well, because normally in class we'd be handwriting this. You would write out their thesis that argues that we should no longer be hoarding toilet paper, argues that we need to increase the number of absences allowed for this school year for students. What are they trying to argue? Argues that we should accept everyone as they are, or argues that we should go buy a case of Coca-Cola and enjoy the good drink. Again, what are they trying to market? What are they trying to get out of you? What are they arguing in this case? So the thesis is the most important. We need to be able to nail this. We need to be able to identify what their purpose is, what they're trying to do. Sentence 2. In any given document, any given commercial, we should be able to identify 3, if not 4, rhetorical strategies, 3 or 4 things that this person, the speaker, organization, company is doing to market this product or idea to you, to persuade you. Are they using statistics? Are they using personal anecdotes? Are they referencing a situation that happened last year on campus? Are they referencing the government overtake in Syria? Again, this is what they're physically saying or doing, and it's simplified. We don't need textual evidence. We don't need it to be really, really long. I just need it to be just a quick little quip, a quick little preview of what they did, just a quick reminder. We're just listing. It's like, oh, they mentioned the suicide rates of last year. They used their personal anecdote of their time where they felt had a bad hospital visit. They reference a study done last year. Again, just boom, 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 boom. 3 or 4 are needed in this. Sentence 2, he, she, they supports this claim by first using this, and then says this, then references this, and finally mentions this. It's just very, very quick. Sentence number 3. This one can get a little tricky, but we put the author's last name. Their purpose is to, what does the author do in the text in order to? So we have to think back to that thesis statement. And in most cases, right here, whatever you wrote here, the author's thesis paraphrase, like they're trying to get to increase the number of allowed absences for the school year. You can say that too right here. so and so's purpose is to argue that we need to increase the number of absences allowed for an academic school year in order to, it's like, okay, so now that in order to is okay, then now what? Once that person, that company achieves their purpose, they get you to buy that product, they get you to believe this, think this, agree to this, then what? What's going to happen? Do they want to call or create a social economic increase? Are they hoping to, in order to um, get everyone to feel a little bit happier about themselves, to accept uh, the idea of mental illness and get rid of the social stigma around it, the need for help? Again, what is the after? If A happens, then B is going to happen. What is the after effect if the writer, the speaker, the group achieves their purpose? And again, I have two examples for you to kind of help you out. So hopefully it just kind of starts making sense. And sentence 4, he, she, they adopt a blank tone for, to, or in order to. Go ahead and add that in. There we go. So now we have to identify what is their tone, what is the emotional feeling that they're delivering their speech, and is it a motivational tone, is it a condescending tone, happy, negative? Those are cliched. We're looking for a little bit more specific, a little more academic language. It's a formal, informal, sarcastic, humorous. And if you look down here at this little table, think of it as a word bank, as a reminder. These are words that you can definitely use and to remind you, oh yeah, that's what goes there. So a tone, we're looking at a different range of emotions. So I'm pretty sure if you Google it or even go to Pinterest, you'll see a plethora, a myriad of choices of different types of emotions that we experience and then that we can use as we're delivering a message. It is a motivating, determined, cautious. We're looking at what is the tone that you get from this. Is this a demeaning type of tone in order to maybe scare the audience that the answer is in them and they need to be the ones making the change? He or she or they adopt a hopeful tone in order to encourage the audience to seek mental help for their own benefit and for the benefit of everybody else. It's like, why are they taking on that tone? Why make it that way? Think about it when you ask for something. Sometimes you're just kind of straight up. Sometimes you're a little bit sarcastic because maybe that's the relationship you have with that person. Maybe you're a little bit what can I say? Like you're chumming them up. Like you're like, oh, you're so wonderful. Thank you so much for this. Hey, by the way, can I do this? Again, we approach these to particular topics or these tasks with a tone, with an emotion. So I want you to be able to identify what that emotion is. And sometimes you can have two emotions. A compassionate and encouraging tone in order to. I would just stick to 2, 3. Gets a little messy, especially when it comes to punctuation. So give me 1 or 2 tones, emotions that you feel that the speaker, this organization, commercial, is using in order to speak to their audience, and for what reason. All right. So when we take a look at this, sentence 1, name of author, type of the work, date if available. Don't worry about that. The rhetorically accurate verb. So we have the word argues that. You don't have to say that. Asserts, suggests, implies, claims that we all need to have more mental health days. Again, you can switch out those words. As long as the structure stays the same, we're good. Sentence 2, we are just listing all those rhetorical choices that the writer made, what they're actually doing in the text and the piece to achieve their purpose. What are they referencing? Anything that's being done to support that thesis, which again is that last sentence, argues that, claims that, implies that, states that, suggests that, argues. And then you can put them in a chronological order in the sense of how they appear in the text, or most important to least important, strongest to weakest. Again, as long as you list your 3 or 4 choices that you see the person doing in their text, in their piece. Sentence 3 is identifying the purpose and what the audience wants to feel or do after reading the text or after being spoken to or appealed to. And then sentence 4 is who is that intended audience, looking at the tone and what they want them to do with that tone, in a sense of how they're being spoken to. If it's compassionate, why compassionate, in order to do what. So that's what we're going to be doing the next 2 days. Tomorrow, I'm going to give you a chance to focus and to practice, trying to see how it all fits together using something we've already done. And let me tell you guys, those responses that you've done already for the mental health days and the Ingrid Nielsen about the whole not wearing makeup or apologizing for your look, y'all have been spot on. And we'll be using those responses to craft your praises as we practice it. So, some examples that I have is from Antigone. I'm hoping y'all got to read that last year. It was the Sophoclean play. It's a play by Sophocles, and in this piece, Antigone buries one of her brothers who's not supposed to be buried because the new king in charge said it's against the law. He sentenced her to death because of it. Well, he already said whoever does it is gonna die. She ends up doing it anyways, and so what is happening? Haman, her betrothed, her boyfriend, is appealing to the king, his father, to don't kill her. So here's an example. The Prince of Thieves, again, his street cred, Haman, his name. He's kind of like Cher or Madonna, just goes by the first name in this piece. We don't have last names. In his speech, argues that Creon should not kill Antigone. That's the bottom line. That's what he's trying to achieve. So the Prince of Thieves, Haman, in his speech, argues that Creon should not kill Antigone. He supports this claim by utilizing nature metaphors, because he's making some comparisons for Daddy to understand, referencing what the townspeople are saying. He's telling Dad, people are talking smack about what you're doing, and indicating that it's only right to consult with others on major decisions because Daddy is doing this all by himself. He's kind of hot-headed in the moment and is kind of upset that someone went against his rule on day 1 of his reign, and he's trying to prove a point, and his son is trying to tell him, big decisions like this where you're killing a princess, because that's who she is, she's a princess as well, you shouldn't be making this decision by yourself. You need a committee, you need a cabinet behind you. So what we do in sentence 3 is briefly name 3 or 4 devices, strategies, choices that our person, like in this case Haman, what he's doing to try to achieve his purpose, which is convincing Daddy don't kill Antigone, his girlfriend. Haman's purpose is to convince his dad to make the right decision. So pretty much what I said up here, I'm just reusing, recycling, repurposing the thesis, and that's okay. We can do that. So Haman's purpose is to convince his dad to make the right decision so that in order to, so like why if he makes the right decision, convinces him to not kill Antigone, the princess, his girlfriend, well, that's going to prove that Creon is a right and justful king, that he's the right kind of guy for the job, that he's not hasty and hot-headed and in the moment right there. So purpose and why, like once that's achieved, okay, this is the following, this is the following action of it. Last sentence is the tone. He adopts a concerned tone to show his father that he only has concerns for him and the city of Thebes. So the tone that Haman approaches Daddy with is like, hey, Dad, I'm on your side. I love you. I only want what's best for you. You are all that matters. No girl or anything will come in the way. But this is going to ruin you. This is going to make a mess of your kingship. And it's only day 1. So, Dad, you need to back up and take a moment and like figure this out. Don't be all hot-headed about it. So he takes this concerned tone so that to prove to his daddy, I only have feelings, well, not feelings, but I'm concerned for you. I'm worried about you. I want what's best for you so that you could be a good king to the city of Thebes, because I care about the people too. So now that we have our praises, it's short, sweet, to the point. The Prince of Thebes, Haman, in his speech argues that Creon should not kill Antigone. He supports his claim by utilizing nature metaphors, referencing what townspeople are saying, and indicating that it's only right to consult with others on major decisions. Haman's major purpose is to convince his dad to make the right decision so that Creon, Dad, can prove that he is right and a just king. He adopts a concerned tone to show his father that he only has concerns for him and the city of Thebes. And that's it. it. The précis is a summary. It's quick little highlights of the piece and letting us know what all that text was about. Here's an example for one of my favorite novels that I teach with pre-AP sophomores and also with juniors. It is the speech from Frankenstein, where we have a doctor, young Victor Frankenstein. His only goal is to defeat death. He's experienced a lot of loss in his life, but he's kind of selfish. Anyways, and he creates a monster in a sense. Didn't do it intentionally, but try to reanimate, bring back to life a dead human being, and did so by bringing parts together and to making like the perfect body, but ended up making a grotesque monster. Well, he succeeded. Good job. But it's not the result that he wanted, and he was pretty much aghast, overwhelmed, grossed out by his creation, so abandoned it. And this poor creature who goes unnamed for a reason, because he's never claimed by his creator, Dr. Victor Frankenstein. He's just the creature. It's like that unnamed puppy that no one wants to take in. That's so sad. But the creature, goes out and learns and has some horrible interactions with people. And we just really get from this novel that we need people. We need a person to connect to. We need someone. We are not a creation that is meant to be alone and in isolation. We need that connection. We need that partner, not an intimate partner, but just someone to kind of communicate to and have feelings with and experience life and witness life with. And so the creature stalks Victor Frankenstein and kind of like isolates him and gives him this speech of like, dude, you owe me. If you don't give me a girl, if you don't make me someone like me, because no one else is ever going to accept me for who I am, you need to make someone just like me, and then I will go live happily off in the woods in some other country and leave everyone alone. Because he's kind of giving like wreaking havoc in Victor's life as payback for like abandoning him and leaving him alone. And so he appeals to Victor Frankenstein, saying, make me a woman or I'm going to make your life a living hell. It's like, you need to do this for me, a tit for tat, quid pro quo. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. Give me a woman, I'll leave you alone. So in his speech, he's appealing to Victor, like, you owe me this, dude. You did this to me. You abandoned me. Give me someone to live out my life with in happiness. So here is the précis for the creature's appeal argument to Dr. Victor Frankenstein. The unwanted creation, the creature, in his plea, argues that Frankenstein is obligated to create a partner for him. He supports this claim by sharing the hardships he has faced with people he has encountered. Some people were mean to him. The neglect Frankenstein had subjected to him by abandoning him. It's like, dude, you did this. His appeal that all creatures, including him, need a partner. That ethical appeal that it's right to do this, wrong to do this. And blackmails him if Frankenstein decides not to go with this deal. He's like, I'll kill everyone you love. The creature's purpose is to convince Frankenstein that he has a moral obligation to preserve the survival of humanity and that of his own family in order to create a sense of urgency in Frankenstein. So what the creature tells him is that if you don't make me a wife, I'm not only going to kill the person that you love or the people that you love the most, I'm going to go out and kill everyone. It is going to be a mass culling of the human population because y'all are evil, y'all are mean, and y'all don't deserve this life. And it's going to be all your fault. So the creature's purpose is to convince Frankenstein that he has a moral obligation. It is the right thing to do to preserve the survival of humanity and that of his own family. Like, don't make me kill everybody, in order to create a sense of urgency in Frankenstein's. Like, you need to get on this like yesterday. He adopts a miserable and judging tone to encourage Frankenstein to acquiesce his requests or fall to the creature's mercy. So he shows like how much he's in pain, how horrible it's been for him, how mistreated he's been just because of how he looks, and then also judging Frankenstein is like, how dare you do this? How dare you make me and think you're superior than me when actually you made me superior. I'm bigger, I'm stronger, I'm faster. And yeah, you have no control. Like, I can wreck your life. You better get it together, son. It says, or fall to my mercy. So in that speech, this précis would be a summary of what the creature utilized. And that's what we're trying to get across, because as we go, if we make, well, when we make it into an essay, this is our backbone. This is what's going to help guide our beginning, our middle, our end for our piece. So I want you to take a look at this. Tomorrow I'm going to give you an opportunity to build a précis, but with guidance. Just kind of like putting it together, piecing it together, filling in the blanks based on something we've already read, something that most of y'all have already read into, because y'all did such a good job. I'm like, not kidding, a beautiful job on it. And what I did is I made another one based on something we have already read. I believed I used it on the mental health days, the one with Haley Hardcastle. So I'm going to go ahead and do another video for that one, as a reminder. Yeah, a reminder for it. All right. So I think that's what I have for today, or for tomorrow. But this is just the structure that I want you to be familiar with. It's a 4-sentence fill in the blank, or it's a summary of a person's speech, a text, argument, and then these are the words you can use, but you're not limited to these words. If you can find a better fitting synonym for it, go for it. But the structure needs to remain the same. And then here are 2 examples from very famous pieces. Taking you should have read last year. Frankenstein was depending on which class you were in, but Frankenstein is a widely known piece that we can allude to and we still be good. So that's all I want to do today, is just watch this, get familiar with this, so that when we take a look at other pieces for tomorrow and Friday, when you actually have to practice doing this, you'll be good to go. That you'll know it's 4 sentences. It's a quick, brief overview and preview of what a speaker writer did in their given text when they're trying to appeal to their audience and get them to do something. All right. I love you. Have a wonderful day and make good choices. Bye, guys.